Welcome back to the kitchen project. Like I said in the last kitchen video, at some point I'd come back, do the backsplash after the countertop got done. Well, it's backsplash day. So what I've done so far, covered the countertop with a paper. You don't want to mess up your countertop. Get a grout or adhesive anywhere you don't want it to be. So get everything covered, taped up, trim, anything you don't want to get messed up, cover it up. So then what I did is I took our tile, and we're going with just a basic 6x6 and a bullnose on the ends. And I've actually laid it out along the entire countertop to see where that is actually going to end up against the wall. And it works out actually pretty good. Not much of a cut. I'm not left with a little tiny sliver or anything, so that's going to work out. We're about ready to start putting tile on. It's time to get after it. What I did is mark the line where we're going to start with the tile, and then this edge will be the edge of the bullnose. And I put that tape there to try and keep the mortar off the wall so we're not cleaning up any more than we already are. Adhesive on the pail, it's going to have recommendations for the notch size to use. Read the instructions. Should be all set. Let's start setting some tile. When you come to the receptacles and other things, what I have is just a little tiny wet saw, and that's all you need to make basic cuts. Use a Sharpie, mark them on the face of your tile because it'll wipe right off then. Run it through the saw, get your cuts made. You're going to run into some really goofy shaped tile when you're going around receptacles, door trim, window trim, whatever you're going around. So what I like to do, take a tile, trace it out on a piece of paper, cardboard, something like that. Hold this up, rough trace it out, cut it out until you get your template to fit right the way you want it. Then trace that back on your tile and cut it out. It saves a lot of time monkeying around and wasting tile. When you get to an area where there's no countertop to support your tile, use a little wooden strip like here, but when you make this line with your level, make sure you take into account your spacers so the tile continues straight across. You don't get a little drop down because you forgot your spacers. And then your tile will sit right on top of your wooden strip as you go up. Once these upper tiles were set, then I took off that little wooden strip I had supporting these, put in the trim tile, just use some tape, hold them in place just in case they were going to slide. Let these set. Next step here will be the grout. Now it's time to get the grouting done. I've already gotten started. And a couple things I'll just talk about quick is the tile. There's no spacers needed because these tile have the little nubs. Sets your grout line for you so you don't need spacers. Easy to use. With the little grout lines, chose a poly blend, non-sanded grout. Pick the color you want. Check prices. It was cheaper to buy the smaller containers than a big one. And if you're doing small projects, why throw a whole bunch away? So you're going to need a float, a sponge to clean the tile off the excess later, and always make sure and cover anything you don't want growed on. It makes cleanup so much easier at the end of your project. Let's start grouting. Get some grout on your float, work it into all the seams, get it pressed in there, come back at an angle. Clean as much as you can off with the float. The more you get off with your float, the easier it is. Once you're done applying the grout, read the instructions again. It says to wait 15 minutes and then lightly sponge in circles so you're not removing a whole bunch of material, just more or less cleaning up. Keep your sponge clean, keep your water clean. Do a lot of rinsing. We'll get this wiped down. The instructions on the grout said to wait 2 hours and then start wiping the haze. Now there are products to help with the haze removal. This grout said cheesecloth after 2 hours. I don't have cheesecloth, so I'm just using a dry rag, and I'm just going to polish this and get the leftover haze off the tile so that it gets that nice shine to it. So you've got your receptacles above your countertop. You extend it out with more tile, little box extension. These sure make it a lot easier, and it makes it look nicer in the end. One of the last steps in the process is caulking between the countertop itself and the tile. So what I did there is tape that just a touch away from the tile and picked up color match caulk just for tile. And by just being careful, filling it in a little bit, and then I just used the wet finger, smooth that out. It actually turned out pretty good. When you pull your tape off then at about a 45-degree angle, yeah, it looks pretty nice. This project came to an end. Turned out pretty nice. And again, Dish is no tiling guy, right? I do my best. Couple things to talk about quick is when you pick out your tile, get plenty of extra. Because if you're like me, some of those intricate cuts, I broke a few, you're gonna need some extra. Another thing is finishing off the ends of this. They make different bullnose tile, they make tile trim, they make steel borders for stuff like that. But do something like that. Don't just cut your tile off because it doesn't look as nice. Get some trim, get some bullnose, get whatever you like, but make it look good. Keep your countertop covered. Keep your whole work area clean when you're grouting. Again, take your time and go slow. Keep it clean. It'll turn out so much better, a lot less mess and a lot less work. So I hope you enjoyed the Backsplash project. And until next time, thanks for watching.